Nancy Whiteford is a longtime figure skating and power skating coach in Ontario. She is a gold medalist in free skate, dance skills, and interpretive. Her impressive 40-plus year career in skating also led her to coach hundreds of gold medalists. And she was inducted into the Brampton Sports Hall of Fame in 2015. Inspired to share her story, she wrote the new children's book, My Skating Dream. The heartwarming story shares the journey of a girl named Sassafrass and her pursuit to become the best figure skater she can be. I hope you enjoy our interview. Okay, well, perfect. Nancy, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really happy to have you here. I'm excited to talk about your book and
Thank
about
you.
your background in skating. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know. So I'd like to start. Obviously, you are the author of a new children's book, My Skating Dream, and we'll talk plenty about the book. But I'd like to just give you some space to, discuss your background and how you fell in love with skating.
I started skating when I was 3 years old,
Okay.
and I loved it from the moment I stepped on the ice. I loved getting dressed up and wearing makeup and having my own solo and performing. And I love that from a very early age, and still to this day, I love to do that.
What are some of the most memorable moments of your career skating?
Um, I think, well, being a quad gold medalist, and then going right into ice volleys and holiday and ice for 2 years. I coached for 40 years of figure skating, and then I won the international adult championships. And then I got inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame for my mentoring and for my international championship.
That's
So
that's pretty impressive. It's a lot.
thank you.
So after you spent a career skating and coaching, what really inspired you to decide to write a children's book about it?
I think during COVID, arenas were closed and for like 4 months at a time, and I couldn't be on the ice. But in my head, there are always figure skaters. Like even when I listen to music, people are always skating in my head. And I thought, you know what, I've wanted to write a book for a long time, but it's always when I have time. And I never seem to have time. And now I have all the time in the world. And so it didn't take that long once I put my mind to it, and I had the time to do it.
So what is the favorite thing about your book? What's your favorite part about it?
I think the favorite part of it, well, it's me growing up, and there's a picture of my coach speaking to me, and we're looking up into each other's eyes. And every time I see that picture, even though it's cartoon, it brings back a flood of memories. And what he's saying in the text is exactly how he would say it to me. And he's no longer with us, so I have wonderful memories with him.
Did it, as you were like telling your own story through the book, did it come naturally? Like what was the writing process kind of like for you?
It did come naturally because this is a dream as a little girl I had almost every night. And so it was very easy to write for me. Um, the pictures were photographs of me that I then gave to my illustrator. And then it was easy for her to do as well because it just depicted what the picture said. The hardest part, I think, was creating Sassafrass. That took about a month
Yeah.
just to create my face.
Right.
And because I have crazy hair, and even if I get it done, you know what? I skate around and the curls are everywhere, and just like sassafrasses. So when we finally, after a month, I'm like, okay, I just need a few more freckles because my face is full of freckles too. And I like, that's it. And I just want something that would make people smile, like look and say, that's a bit of a goofy looking kid. And it makes me smile to see it too. So hopefully it will make other people smile.
And that's the thing with children's books too, is like there are so many little details in it. Like even just one illustration, you have to be so precise about every marking on a face, like you said, every freckle. So how long did it take, like the full process of writing, illustrating, and completing the process of publishing the book?
Okay. I think it probably took about a year. That wasn't working for a full year, but that would be from when I started to write until it was at Book Baby for production.
Okay.
It didn't take really a long time for me to write it because it's all true.
Yeah.
It's all everything that happened in my life up until about 5 years old. So I didn't go into really me past 5 years old at all in this book.
So overall, this is your first book, right? What was the process like for you? Like, what was your experience like working with us at Book Baby?
It was actually wonderful because I had a lot of questions, and Christina Ellis especially was amazing for me because, I would call her, and what was a big deal to me was not a big deal to her at all. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. This is what we do there." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And I'm like, "Oh, what about this?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, well, I'll put you to that person." And so she really helped me along the way. And then everyone else helped along the way. I learned a lot from my first one. My second one is going to Book Baby today.
Oh, amazing.
My second book. So yeah, it's a book series, Adventures with Sassafrass, and I'm Sassafrass. So it's a lot of adventures in my life. So this book is called It's More Than Hockey.
Oh, that's great. I'm really excited to see it. It's really cool when you turn like a vision into a whole series. And what I also am wondering is, as a first-time author, like what resources did you turn to when you were looking for help? If you had questions, like what were the biggest resources that helped you make the self-publishing process a reality?
Book Baby. Really, it was. I'd already, I sort of arrived at Book Baby. I had my text, I had my illustrations, but I wasn't too sure what to do next. And even the online setting it up, it's very simple. And I'm not really tech savvy. And it was so simple, I couldn't believe it. And then it was accepting or not accepting whatever you wanted, like the text or the cover. And when I saw the cover that they did, I don't know if you can see my book here, but when I saw the cover that they did, I just couldn't believe it. To me, it was better than I expected.
It's always got to be such a cool feeling to see your book after you envision it and you have it in your hands. So, as you mentioned before, you worked with an illustrator. I'm just curious, like what the process was like, how you found the illustrator. What was the collaboration process like between you and the illustrator?
Well, the illustrator is one of my students, and
Okay.
she's 13 years old.
Amazing.
And yeah, I just said to her one day, I had another illustrator, and she just was so busy. She just told me, "I can't do this." And I'm just, thanks for being honest. And so the next day I had a group of students, and I just said, "Does anybody know anybody who can draw?" And one of the boys said, "My sister can." And I had taught her figure skating before, and I asked her if she'd be interested, and she said she would. And so I gave her a picture of Sassafrass, and she drew it. And I was like, "Wow, would you like to illustrate my book?" And she said, "Absolutely." So she's illustrated both books for me.
So when you gave her a picture of Sassafrass, you mentioned was that an actual picture of you?
No, because Sassafrass was created already.
Okay.
So I gave her a picture of Sassafrass, that was created. And she drew that. And I'm like, "Okay." And I would give her a picture and tell her, "This is what I'd like. I maybe want the head tilted, the toe turned a little bit, lots of freckles, big smile, eyes looking up." And she's okay. So then she would send me the rough version of that. And then I would say, okay, we need to fix the toe, we need to do this, and then she would do that, and then I would approve it, and then she'd color it.
That's
And
wonderful.
and then she'd send it to me, and how's this? And yep, okay, I love it, done. Okay, next picture is this. And that's how we've gone along the whole way.
Yeah. And what's it like to see yourself in this story? Like, what's the feeling like?
Um, it actually, it's a pretty wonderful feeling. Like,
Yeah.
it brings back so many memories and just all the fun that you have doing things for the first time. And drawing the pictures, I think I've had a lot of fun, like seeing the pictures and seeing that smiling face. Like, you know what? I still love to skate as much today as I did when I was 5 years old. And I'm so lucky. I've been teaching for 43 years. I teach mostly hockey players now, but I still love it. And I just hope everybody in the world can find something that they love to do as much as I love to skate. And then with writing the book, you know what? It's something that's totally out of my normal, but you know what? At 63 years old, it's time to learn something new. And I've learned a lot. I still have a lot
Yeah.
to learn, but I've learned a lot already. And it's been a lot of fun. The whole process has been a lot of fun, and Book Babies made it as easy as possible for me.
And it's great to hear. And I love, one thing I love about your books is that I think that, I think and I hope that there are young kids like you that can read the story and become inspired to start skating and find something they love, because sometimes all it takes is a story to realize like this could be someone else's passion and you could share that. And I think
It could, and I think too, it applies to anything in life, like just to dream big dreams, because dreams can come true.
yeah.
And find something you love, whether it's skating or hockey or bowling or anything. If you work hard at something, good things can happen. And that's what I'm trying to get through to everyone. And it's being the best you can be. My book doesn't end up like, I want to be a world champion. My book is Sassafrass wants to be the best skater she can be. And I just really believe if you're doing the best you can, that's all you can ask for.
Did you always know then once you started skating that this would become your life, or did you have kind of
Yeah.
just meant to be?
We have a newspaper article of me at 10 years old, and they asked, what would you like to do in your future? And what I said was, I would love to go into an ice show, into ice volleys, and coach figure skating. And that was at 10 years old, and that's exactly what I did. And so I knew all along this is what I wanted to do.
Are there any some people you met along the way that were super influential for you? Like, who were the most, looking back at your career skating and your life, like who would you say are the people that made the biggest difference as you learned to skate and as you just became like an adult who with a passion?
Definitely my coach, Wally Distelmar. He was absolutely amazing and patient, and he would kiss me on each side of the cheek after every lesson, and I would curtsy to him. I know you can't do that now, but wow, 50 some years ago, I would do anything to make, and for both of us to smile or just a little hug. And I knew, I was in the right place. And my parents, because my mom didn't get to skate when she was younger and her parents couldn't afford it. So she made sure if this is something I love to do, she loved being along with me for a competition. She'd do my makeup, she'd make my skating outfits, and we just had a ball. And then with my dad, he's always told me that there's nothing I could ever do to disappoint him. So I knew all through my life, no matter what I do, I have his back. And that's a pretty nice feeling.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear like the people who have been able to live their dreams. It's because they've had such amazing like role models and support people who help them get there. And it's really nice to hear that.
Mhm.
You know, I also want to know for other people who are similar to yourself, maybe their passion is in skating, it could be anything, but they're for potential first-time authors who have a story to tell, but might be hesitant to like take the leap and do it. Do you have any advice for someone like that in your shoes? Just what would you say?
Yeah, I think, you know what, if it's something that you really want to do, you're passionate about, go for it. And if it, if you, let's say you went to Book Baby and you want to get it edited first, I would suggest that. And then that editor can really help you and say, okay, you might need to change this or think about that. And it's a process. It's not like you write it today and it gets published tomorrow. So you have a lot of time to think about it and think, okay, maybe I want to change that, or I want to add this. It's not like one lump sum to me. Like, it was a whole process. For me, it was a year. And I didn't change a whole lot of my book, but I did change some things. And I just think if this is what you love, then tell the world. And if you can inspire anybody, to me, it's worth it.
What do you hope that for, with your first book and now your second book, what do you hope that children and other readers will take away from it?
I think, well, the biggest one for this book is just to dream.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, because you can do anything. There are so many things in this world for you to do. And just pick even one of them, and give it everything you've got and be the best that you can be. And it's such a feeling of confidence. And I think everybody needs a little bit of that in your life, some confidence and happiness and just getting into that world.
It's true, especially for kids and young people. It could be scary to do, to follow your passions and try new things. So I think that's really nice advice. And I think it would be awesome too, like if you could find ways to, I don't know how it works in Ontario, but to like, get your book to students and young skaters. I don't know if you have any plans to, have you worked with anybody yet to get your book?
Not yet. I've only had my book for 2 weeks, but I have a book signing on May 7th. And that is at the club that I worked at for 40 years. That's what I have planned so far. We have a local authors showcase here, and I applied for that, and my skating dream was accepted. So it will be in the library and on their online bookshop for a
Awesome.
year. And it's also on Amazon right now, and Barnes and Noble and Book Baby.
Great.
And it won't be released until March 30th, so it's in pre-order right now.
Great. Well, there's always ways to, purchase it now. Like you said, you could purchase it on Bookshop and start reading the story, because it's such a wonderful book to read. And I'm glad you shared your future projects and that you're gonna have a book signing. Like, I think doing these events is going to be just a great way for you to connect with readers, and it makes it so much more personal too, because they could see you and they could read the story and really.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they know me there, so they they're excited for it. They're really excited for it as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited. You know what? It's again something new.
Yeah.
And so you're never too old to learn something new.
And now you could add to your resume with all of your skating accomplishments that you're a published author, and I think that's a very
Yeah.
exciting thing.
Thank you.
Multiple books. So do you have any plans for more? You said it's going to be a series, so how many books do you think you're going to make a part of it?
I'm not sure. The next one is Look Out, New York, Here Comes Sassafrass.
Okay.
So it's Sassafrass and her mom spend the weekend in New York City, the two of them at Christmas time. And of course, she'll skate in Rockefeller Center and make snow angels. I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, is that also based off of true events?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So well, I'm looking forward to it as well. And I would like to close with like one question. It's kind of a bigger question, but what has been the most rewarding aspect of this entire process of starting this book series for you?
I think accomplishing something new.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to university because I went right on tour at age 19. And when I came home, I went right to coaching figure skating. So I've never had that university experience or another experience. Skating has been my life.
Yeah.
And I think that part is like, wow, this book has my name on it. Like I actually wrote this book. And I think that's a pretty special moment. And I'm looking forward to writing more too. I just have a lot to say.
I love that.
And I just want to share it with everyone. I used to talk face to face with these children all the time when I worked for 40 years. And now it's another way to still reach out to them, but in a book form.
Yeah, now, it's your skating dream, but it could also become someone else's. And I think that's very exciting.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions and share your book. And I do want to remind people watching that you could purchase My Skating Dream on Bookshop and anywhere else. You said it's in pre-order right now, but it's just such a wonderful story, and I'm looking forward to your new books. So please,
Thank you.
I hope everybody stays tuned. So thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep.